I hear the call to defend our nation. I see the light at the end of the tunnel. I see the dreams of those who have died and the hope for which we survive. I see the promise we have.
Some of them are not employable because they don't have skills. And they need to go through a formal education at a level, not all, but some, especially the field or the infantry. So we come up with a program headed by an officer of government designated a special advisor on Niger Delta affairs. And funds are budgeted every year. I mean, what is quite handsome. And most of them, even today, somebody was telling me that our program is working, that he was in South Africa, and some of these boys are flying aeroplanes there. So we are trying to create skills for a number of them. They are all over the world. Southern Korea, I don't know whether some are in Germany. I just came back from Southern Korea about 2 weeks ago, and some are training there, some are in South Africa, in China, and never, too many places. Yeah, the only thing you can do to make sure that people in that as a part of the country don't raise against the system is to create opportunity for them to survive. The maritime sector is an area there's so much money in maritime business, but people must develop the skills to be engaged, and these are the areas we are developing. So this infrastructural development and the manpower development that is dedicated, though the special advisor and the Niger Delta concentrates on the so-called militants who, of course, have embraced peace and they are living peacefully, and we are creating empowerment for them. But that is for the special advisor. It's an adult program. It may not stay for long. Immediately we finish training this set of militants, that will be phased out. But the ones that is sustainable is the Niger Delta Development Commission. They don't concentrate on training militants. In fact, I told them that, because if they try that, they will be deviated, because the militants have an aggressive approach to issues. So I said, you are not to look at the militants. You are to provide infrastructure and train the ordinary boys and girls from within the area, give them skills or other forms of scholarship. So your business has nothing to do with the militants. Your business is to do with the normal population, so that you will not be intimidated and do things that you are not expected to do. The special advisor in Niger Delta will select the character that will suit the circumstances, and is doing quite well. So the second has to do with, you talk about public finance and say, who are Boko Haram? The question, I remember I even mentioned one of my press briefings when a journalist asked me whether I will negotiate with Boko Haram. And I said, look, the Boko Haram people are Nigerians. When their improvised explosive devices get detonated, Nigerians die or their property is destroyed. So left or right, I am losing, because they are my people. I'm the president of the country. So I want to do anything that will end this crisis. I will be ready as a government to discuss with them. But first and foremost, they should tell us who are they. They are presently faceless. They must tell us that, yes, we are members of the Boko Haram. This is our leadership structure. If you want to discuss with us, discuss with X, Y, Z. For now, we don't have that. Yes, security operatives have names of key actors, but nobody is coming out clearly to say, yes, I represent the interests of Boko Haram. And I also say, okay, what do you really want? If the issue of Western education, if you don't want to go to school, you have no business bombing a church because you don't want to go to school. If you don't want to go to school, you have no business bombing the market because you don't want to go to school. So that cannot be any acceptable reason. And I say, if you say you are anti-Western education, you are using cell phone. Is the cell phone not, is it not a product of Western civilization and education? You are using cars that are produced in the West. So what are you telling me? Doesn't make sense. So I said, that cannot be a reason. If you come and tell us the real reason, and you have your identity, we'll discuss. So if you ask me who Boko Haram, I don't know. But I know they exist, they are there in the country. Unlike Al-Qaeda, that everybody knew Osama bin Laden as their leader, even though it was not appearing in public, but at least it was a bit clear. So that is that. The public finance and of course the issue of the public finance that you raised. Yes, when we wanted to deregulate completely, is to save money for use. Because if you look at our budgeting, you look at 2011 budget, 2012 budget, let's see that we borrow almost the whole money we're using for capital projects. And at the same time, we spend almost the same amount of money, or even a little more, because from the investigation done by the House of Representatives now, it looks as we even spend a little more money than our capital budget to subsidize our petroleum products. That's why I'm saying we are not a rich country. How will a country spend more money to subsidize for petroleum products? And we're subsidizing PMS, that is the offensive aspect of it. The premium motor spirit, the one who is in driving expensive jeeps, cars and so on. Diesel that is used for mass transit for these big vehicles and trailers, tankers, lorries that convey heavy products or goods to markets. They use diesel, and that has been deregulated by the previous, by Obasanjo's government. So we say, no, well, let us rather develop a mass transit system in the country where low-income people will use so that they don't pay so much to move from one place to the other. We don't have mass transit in Nigeria. Only we have a little in Lagos and places like Edo State. But the rest of the country, sometimes government will start it, local governments, but they are not sustainable. They buy some vehicles, when those vehicles crash, it ends there. And we say, no, we must develop, and we're working on that with the governors, to develop a mass transit system that will use big buses, use diesel. But we feel it is not proper for a government to subsidize for the consumption of the elite. Because the bulk of the people who use these cars, or some people have up to 10 cars, are the elite. Those who really need to be subsidized are those who ordinarily use mass transit. But I agree that because we don't have a functional mass transit, even people going to primary school, secondary school have to enter taxis, which is not proper. So that is our target. But somehow, any time we talk about increasing pump price of petroleum product, people will resist it, especially when you're in a country where you have very functional and dynamic labor union, and of course the politics in Nigeria just starting. Will start political. The political will come up and military will take over. This is the first time we're having a stable political environment since since 99 till date, and we believe that it's come to stabilize. So we have political parties that also want to make a name. And I'm from the ruling party, the PDP, so other political parties will see everything PDP as wrong. And they want to do everything to frustrate it. That is the only way they think they can become popular. So every little thing they will capitalize on it and raise issues and even convince the ordinary people. Even you who want to protect the ordinary people, they will think that you want to kill them. They will make them believe. So there was a lot of resistance, and of course we couldn't deregulate completely. But we moved the pump price of petroleum product in Nigeria from 65 naira to 97 naira per liter. And we thank God that we're able to do that. If we didn't do that, now that the crude oil is going almost, what is the current price? It's up to 115 petroleum minister. What is the current price today?
About 124.
About 124. I don't know how. The whole of the money for capital budget and half of the recurrent would have been used to pay for the consumption of the elites to drive their expensive cars. So, but we've not really saved much, but the little that we are saving, we are applying it back for capital investment in the area of power, in the area of agriculture, and other areas to stimulate the local economy, to create jobs and create wealth. The issue of Nigerian diaspora, I have to commend the Nigerian diaspora. We have a very vibrant diaspora. I told the Chancellor today, because during a lunch discussion, I talked about the issue of manpower in Nigeria. So yes, there are quite a number of areas we need the skills, but in terms of, we have a number of Nigerian professionals all over the world. That in the United States alone, we have about 25,000 consultants, medical doctors working from Nigeria, working in the United States of America alone, about over 25,000. That was the figure when I visited Obama last year, he gave me. So you really see that this is a well-trained medical doctor. That's only one sector. So we have people, and we'll encourage them to be in those countries and do what they are doing. And those who want to come, we also encourage them to come and join us to build a country that our children will be happy with. In terms of voting, I've already discussed, because I promised that time that we'll work towards Nigerians in diaspora vote, at least for presidential election and where possible governorship elections, because you can easily do the two. It may be difficult to go to senatorial election and other election. And I've already discussed with the chairman of the the Independent National Electoral Commission. No, they are independent bodies, so there's a limit they can follow. I told him that, look, work towards Nigerians in diaspora voting in 2015. He said that it's very difficult what they will. I've not really asked them how far they've gone, but I've already given the directive. Whether I will be able to do it, it is not me, but it's the INEC. I've directed that they should work towards the diaspora voting for their presidents and their governors. We may not do for the other levels of election like senators, House of Representatives, State House of Assembly, local government chairmen, and councillors. Might be difficult, but the president and governors will be able to, but I cannot give you 100% guarantee. But what I can tell you is that I've directed the electoral body to work towards it. I thank you.
Your Excellency, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Your Excellencies, the Governors of Anambra and Adamawa States, Honorable Ministers, Gentlemen of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of this session.
With the will
Thank you very much.
and the passion to serve and to lead and to honor a nation. I see a man who's willing to fight, who's determined to bring the light, who has shown himself a leader. I believe in Goodluck, Jonathan. I believe Nigeria has a chance to rise again and take its place of pride and glory. I believe in Goodluck, Jonathan. I believe that he has what it takes to lead our nation to its place of pride and glory. For the people, a man who would listen and who knows what we've been through, a man who is willing to sacrifice. We have the power, let's make it right. I believe in Goodluck, Jonathan. I believe Nigeria to rise again and take its place of pride and glory. I believe in Goodluck, Jonathan. I believe that he has what it takes to lead this nation to its place of pride and glory. I believe in God.